Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I'm Kim. This will be a short 15-ish minute gentle practice today. We'll bring our focus to our psoas muscle or muscles. We have one on each side of the body, and the psoas muscle runs deep to the spine, attaches to the lower spine, front sides of the spine, runs down the spine behind all of the abdominal organs, and then comes out over the edge of the pelvis, attaches to the inner thighs. So on each side. And these are the only muscles that connect the upper body to the lower body. So this muscle would draw the knees into the chest or help to fold the body together. So we'll bring in a little activation, a little release to our psoas muscles today. They can get short and tight, maybe even lopsided. So we'll give them a little bit of love today. Grab a couple of yoga blocks, join me on the mat, and bring yourself down onto your back. Bend your knees. And bring the feet and the knees about hip width. And if it feels okay for you, close your eyes here. Begin to allow yourself to relax with the knees bent here. Psoas is not being stretched to its ultimate length with the legs straight. So that'll give our psoas a little juice, a little love, just being here in this position. And take a few deep breaths. Allow yourself to arrive here for your practice, carving out these next few moments for you to be here with yourself, body, mind, breath, and spirit. You can let go of everything else for these next 15. You can deal with it all later. For now, this is your time. Begin to check in with yourself and notice how you're feeling today. Emotionally, mentally, physically, energetically. Letting go of judgment, but just being curious about what's going on for you, taking stock, listening in. And as always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with yourself as you move through this practice, and to carry the intention off of the mat with you if you so choose. Why not be kind to yourself? All that love that you're putting out into the world, bring it back to yourself, draw it inward. And then begin to flutter the eyes open. Extend the legs down the mat. Reach the arms up overhead, finding a symmetrical stretch, reaching up through fingers, down through toes. You can roll around the wrists or the ankles if you like here. Flicker, wiggle the fingers and toes. And then we'll draw the right knee in towards the chest. Take hands around that knee or shin, hug that knee in. And then release the right leg down to the mat. We'll switch it up, draw that left knee in towards the chest, hug it in. And then release that leg back down to the mat. Now, bend the knees again. Walk the feet back in. Bring the arms down alongside the body, palms to press down. We'll begin to lift the hips up, finding bridge pose. It does not have to be your biggest bridge here. Squeeze your bum, begin to activate through your glute muscles, which can help to release the psoas muscles, your antagonist muscles to each other. And then relax, lower yourself back down. And again, we'll press into the feet, lift up through the hips, finding our bridge pose. You can roll the shoulders underneath you a little bit, maybe press the hips up a little bit higher this time. And again, begin to squeeze your bum, activate through the glutes, finding that release through the psoas. And then relax the glutes, lower your hips and your bum back down to the mat. And let's do that one more time. Press down into the feet, lift up the hips. Wiggle shoulders underneath you a little bit. Maybe you interlace the fingers underneath you if that is accessible to you. And then again, begin to squeeze your bum. And then release the hands. Arms out to the side. Lower yourself back down. Draw the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little hug. Maybe a little rock from side to side or back and forth. And then find your way up into a seated position. You can rock and roll up if that feels okay, or just find your way. Bend the knees, plant the feet down, take the fingers underneath the shoulders, sit up nice and tall. And we'll walk the feet in a little bit. Maybe you plant the hands down here and begin to lift your shins up. So shins are parallel-ish to the mat. And begin to slowly extend the legs out, lower yourself down towards the mat just a little bit, and then hug the knees and the chest back in towards each other as you come back up. And we'll do that again, extending the legs out. You lower torso down and then hug yourself back, knees and chest coming back towards each other. One more time, we'll extend the legs out, lower the torso down, and then hug yourself back in. Lower the feet down, take hands to the knees or shins. We'll pull the knees wide, pull the heart forward, maybe lift the gaze. And then bring the knees back together, cross the shins, take the hands forward, find your way into table position, coming on to hands and knees. And we'll extend the right leg back about hip level-ish. Bend that right knee, draw it in towards nose, chest, forehead. Send the leg back out behind you. Release knee down to the mat. Send that left leg back behind you, now hip level-ish. And then we'll bend the left knee. Draw in underneath the body, round yourself up, draw the knee up towards nose, chest, or forehead. Send that leg back behind you again. Release that knee down to the mat. Now let's take our two blocks, bring them to the sides of the mat, have them handy, and then bring yourself back to your table. Send the right leg back again. We'll bend the right knee, draw it underneath the body, and then step or carry that right foot up to the top of your mat. Knee tracking over ankle, press down into the feet, lift yourself up, take hands to that front thigh, press the hands into the thigh, lengthen the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. You could move the back knee a little bit further back if you like, give yourself a little bit more length in this lunge. A little bit more opening through the front of that left hip. And then we'll take hands to the blocks next to you. Press your finger pads into the blocks. Press down into the feet. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Spine nice and long. Reach the left arm up along the ear. Keep the right hand on the block. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we'll fold over to the right. Take a breath or two here. Up and out through the left fingers, feeling that opening through the front of that left hip, and then hug in through the legs, lift yourself back up to center, left hand comes down, And then we'll take hands down to the mat, step that right foot back. Now extend left leg back behind you, hip level-ish. Bend that left knee, draw it in towards the chest. Step or carry that left foot up towards the top of the mat, knee over the ankle. Maybe you wiggle that right knee back a little bit. Give yourself a little bit more space if that feels okay. Press into your feet, lift up, hug in through the legs, hands to the front thigh. Nice long spine. And then hands to top of the blocks. Press down into the blocks. Reach that right arm up along the ear. And then we'll fold it over to the left. Hug in through the legs, lift up through the belly. Bring yourself back up. And then hands come back to the mat. You step that left foot back into your table and then come back to sit on your heels. Now keeping the blocks with you, come up to stand up on the knees. You could tuck the toes under behind you if you like, or just keep tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. Hug in through the legs, lengthen up through the crown of the head, lift up through the heart, draw that belly in and up, and begin to lift up through the heart as you lower yourself back just a little bit. So we're feeling this mostly through the upper back, but also feeling this opening through the front of the hips. Hug in through the legs, lift yourself back up. Sit back down on the heels, push the blocks away, take hands to the top of the mat, tuck the toes under, glide your hips up into downward dog. Take a breath or two here, pedal out legs. Walk yourself up to the top of your mat. We'll bring it into forward fold. Belly rests on the thighs. Let your head go, shake it out. Rock the hips. Hands to the hips, press into your feet, lift your heart, come all the way up to stand. Now we'll soften the knees and root down into that left foot. Begin to draw that right knee up towards the chest. Take the right hand to that right knee or thigh. Begin to press down into that knee or thigh as you resist with the knee. So finding this isometric contraction here. And then release. Take it to the other side. Root down into that right foot, soften through the knee. Begin to draw that left knee up towards the chest, or take that left hand to the top of that left knee or thigh. Begin to press down with the hand as you resist with the knee. And then release. Other side, one more time. Weight into that left foot, draw that right knee up towards the chest. Right hand comes to that right knee or thigh. Press down with the hand as you resist with the knee. And then release. Other side, weight into that right foot. Draw that left knee up. Press that left hand down into that left knee or thigh as you hug that knee up. And then release. Now we'll step the feet out wide. Turn the right toes up towards the top of the mat. Bend the right knee. We'll open it into our warrior two. Arms reach wide. And we'll take it into a side angle. Right forearm over to that right thigh. Left arm up and over the ear. Now left hand comes to the thigh. Right hand to that right shin. We'll take it into a triangle. Begin to make that right leg a little bit straighter. Pull the hips back, hinging from that right hip and folding yourself over towards that right side. Pressing that right hand down into that right shin, or you could use a block here. And we'll soften through that right knee. Press yourself back up. Bend the right knee again, come back into your warrior two and reach the arms wide. And then release the arms down. Turn that right foot in. Let's take it to the other side. Same thing. Soften the knees. Turn the left toes towards other end of your mat. We'll open it into our warrior two, bending that left knee. Left knee moving over towards the pinky toe side of that foot. And then into our side angle, left forearm to that left thigh, right arm up over the ear. Let's take it into our triangle. Right hand to that right hip, left hand to the left shin. Begin to straighten that left leg as you pull the hips back. Nice long side body, both sides. Left fingers press into that shin, or again, if you like, you could use a block. Maybe reach right arm up. And then right hand comes back down to the hips, soften that left knee, lift yourself up, open yourself back in to your warrior two. And then release arms down, straighten the left leg, turn the foot in, step yourself back together. Let's turn to face top of the mat. Arms reach out to the sides and up, palms together. Soften the knees, fold yourself back into that forward fold. Bend the knees a lot. Get your hands down onto the mat and walk yourself back out into your downward dog. Take what you need here, a few breaths, a little pedaling, a little rocking, or a little stillness. And drop knees down to the mat, come back to sit on your heels. And we'll drop over to one hip, sweep your legs around, find your way back down on to your back. And keeping the knees bent, feet underneath the knees. You can bring hands to rest on your belly, or one hand to belly, one hand to heart, back to where we started here. And come back to your breath. Come back to our intention. And feel free to stay here and rest for as long as you like. When you feel complete, slowly roll yourself over to one side, press yourself up. Bring yourself back into a comfortable seat. Take palms together at the heart. Thank you so much for sharing this short practice with me today. Hope it helped. With love and gratitude, namaste.